Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. I am Dr. Terri Collins, and I am the owner of Guiding Dreams. And what I do is help people understand the meaning of their dreams. Today, I have a guest. My guest is Coach Michelle D. Hi, Michelle. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. So you told me you're having reoccurring dreams.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get started, I just want to let everyone know, reoccurring dreams occurs, it's like a theme. It might not be the same dream all the time, but it's like the theme of the dream. And some people find these dreams like unsettling, frustrating, but a lot of times it's like our subconscious letting us know something is unresolved. So when you told me you had a reoccurring dream, I got excited. So I hope you're excited
I
to
am
talk about this.
excited to tell you about it.
Okay. So, Michelle, this is how I
Yes.
work in
Yes.
working dreams. You are the owner of the dream. I am not going to put any meanings to your dream. You define the meanings of your dream.
Okay.
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 So when you tell me about the dream, I ask that you tell me in present tense. That is, I am walking or
Okay.
I see. I
Mhm.
just present tense. Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
So in the dream, I am in Detroit, Michigan, where I lived as a child. I was not born there, but I moved there at the age of 4. And even though I've lived in many places, I am always in Detroit on that same street. And I am walking down the street, and there is always a fence, a wire fence next to me in the yard. So there's a yard, a house, or homes, but they're behind wire fences, which are common in Detroit. So I'm walking past the fence, and all of a sudden I start to hear gunshots as if there's a drive-by. And I immediately start to run in the dream. And I realize they are shooting at me. And I start to run faster until I hop. And this is the part where it changes from time to time. But again, like you said, same thing. I turn into some kind of animal, usually an animal from the primate family, I would say a monkey, a chimp, a gorilla, and I hop into the tree, literally leap into the tree, but I'm no longer a person. I'm no longer a little girl because in this dream, even though I have an adult, I am still always around 10 years old. And I am running and I hop into the tree for safety. They start to shoot at me in the tree and I start to feel the bullets, but they don't hurt me and I don't die. I just feel the impact of them, but I'm not bleeding. I'm not in pain. I don't feel like in the dream. And I am looking and wondering why they're shooting at me. And then I just wake up.
Okay. All right. So, Michelle, I'm going to ask you to tell me the dream again.
Okay.
All right. Close your eyes this time.
Okay. Okay.
Keep your eyes closed. And as you are discussing the dream or telling me the dream, I want you to really like focus on um things that really stand out to you, like the
Okay.
fence. If you
Okay.
is the fence old? Is it bent? Is it new? Um,
Okay.
if you even recognize what you're wearing, or if you see who's shooting you. Okay,
Okay.
so I want you to go into the dream and really like you are in the dream. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So I'm walking down the street on a sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk because in Detroit, sidewalks are common. So I'm on the sidewalk, and the yard I'm walking past, I don't see a house actually. I just see a fence and I see grass. And the grass needs to be cut so much that it's sticking through the wires at the bottom of the fence. And I noticed that it needs to be trimmed and cut. So I see it. I don't know what I am wearing because I don't necessarily see me. I just know it's me and I feel my presence. But I don't have a physical body in my head until I become an animal. As a human, I don't. I don't see it. I just feel my presence. And then whatever I turn into when I get into the tree, then I can see that thing. I actually can see the tree in front of me as I'm walking down the sidewalk. It's summer, there are no cars, and I don't know where the gunshots start coming from. I don't see anybody. I don't see any humans in the dream. So I don't know. And I jump into the tree and I look back to see who's shooting, but I don't see anything. I just feel the impact of shots on me as I'm in this tree.
Okay. Tell me, when you have this dream, um, what emotion do you normally have? Is it scared?
When I'm walking, I feel peace. I feel like it's a summer day. I feel that I'm happy. I feel at peace. I feel like I'm taking a peaceful stroll, walk. I don't feel scared until I hear the gunshots. And then I get scared and start to run. When I'm in the tree, I'm actually not scared anymore, but it's because I'm realizing whatever you're hitting me with is not somehow affecting me. I'm just curious at this point as to why you're doing this to me. So I don't know that I feel confused, if that's a feeling when I'm in the tree, because I don't see anyone, but I know someone is shooting at me. And I'm feeling impacts, but not falling, dying in whatever capacity I'm in. If I'm a monkey, or sometimes, most of the time, it's a monkey. Most of the time. Sometimes I've been one time I definitely remember being a gorilla. Um, but even still, once I realize it's not affecting me in a major way, I feel confused as to why
Okay.
then are you doing this? Why is this happening?
All right. Okay, so you say during the dream you're around 10 years old?
Yes,
Okay.
that's how I feel in the presence. But again, I don't see
Okay.
like me in jeans or anything.
Okay. And you said you grew up in Detroit?
So my mom left my dad when I was 4 and we moved to Detroit. And we lived there until I was 13, and then she went back to New York.
Okay. How was Detroit for you living there? What are your memories of Detroit?
Um, I remember for some reason, my mom was extremely clean to the point where she would like mop the floor with bleach and ammonia. I'm not sure what is bothering me. Um, Detroit was, I think that I loved it. I think that I liked it at least because when she said we were leaving, I ran away. So I can't say that I have any particularly fond memories there. I
Mm-hmm.
just know that when it was time to leave, I didn't want to. So I ran away.
Okay.
Do I have any really fond memories? No. It's
Okay.
not a place that I want to go back to or revisit for any reason. I've
Oh,
never had the desire to go back there, even though I said that I would. I've never, thought, even though I go back to New York and still want to go back, I don't want to go back to Detroit.
okay. You want to take a moment?
Okay. I don't know why that happened. I don't really, like I said, have any bad memories. Well, I do, but not something so major that it would make me say that I didn't like Detroit because things happen everywhere. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've had worse things happen in Georgia, so uh, I don't know. I don't know why I had that reaction.
Okay. Um, did you recognize the lot that you were passing?
Did I recognize?
Do you recognize it in your dreams? Is it a familiar lot that because you said there wasn't a house on it, grass was growing.
Actually, no. It
Okay.
was really green grass, but no, I don't know that lot. I can't say it was anybody or anyone's particular lot or is anyone particular lot. I just remember the glass being very vibrantly green, vivid green. And that's another thing because I really don't remember colors in my dream. I don't remember myself in my dream, meaning I don't remember my physical appearance. I just know that I'm present. And but two things that stood out were the fence, a chain link fence, and the grass, and the fact that the grass wasn't cut, but it was really, really green. It always is. And I could see the tree in the far off distance, not thinking that's the tree I'm going to run to for safety. I just see it as I'm walking.
Okay. I'm gonna move to the chain link fence.
Okay.
Um, in thinking about it, do you think it was like keeping the grass away? How do you view the fence? Or do you,
I viewed the grass as escaping the fence because it wasn't trimmed, it was sticking outside onto the cement side where I was. And that's what I was thinking about the fence, that I didn't have any particular thoughts about the fence itself, except for the fact that the grass was coming through the fence, through the chain link fence, and that
Mhm.
if it were cut and trimmed, it wouldn't do that. But there was no house, just a lot.
Okay, now I want to focus on the tree.
Okay.
Was it like a bare tree? Did it have a lot of branches? Did it have leaves?
It had a lot of green leaves. It was a big tree. The bottom was just all the stump, and there were not a lot of branches on the bottom. You could clearly see the bottom of the tree. It was like somebody had trimmed it almost, and that the branches and the leaves started maybe 3 or 4 feet off the ground. So it was very mature, big, nice tree that I jumped into, that I always jump into. It's tall, it's green and pretty thick, and I jump into the tree. And I'm usually turned into an animal that will jump.
Okay, animal that will jump.
Like a leap or climb. Like I never turned into a fish or a dog or nothing like that.
Okay, so you say you mainly turn into, most of the times you turned into a monkey.
Mhm.
So when you think of monkeys, what do you think?
I think monkeys are adorable, cute, and mean. So I think they have two sides. They can be very adorable, sweet, and charming and cute, but I've seen them. I don't feel like, so my feeling about them is that they are not aggressive and that they're not mean. I see them as cute, but in my mind, I know I should be cautious because I've learned that they can be dangerous. Now I feel like they are because I don't, but I know that they could be. And I also feel like they are closest to humans. They are humans that don't speak, that live different in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm backtracking.
Okay.
You told me what monkeys mean. Tell me what trees mean to you.
Honestly, honestly, it means misuse space in many cases.
Misuse space.
Yes.
Can you explain that for me?
Yes. So living in New York most of my life, it's kind of a concrete jungle. And many people live there. And we do have still with that a homeless problem, right? But when I live in the country and I see so many trees and so much space, it's beautiful to me. But to me, it's also a missed opportunity to build and grow and make spaces in farmland for people. So food, we pay so much for food. So I have a, it's not that I don't love trees. I just want, I don't know, when I just see a lot of forested trees, I feel like those are resources. They're the beginning of resources that people need. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just do. Now, but I love trees, like fruit trees. I want to plant them in my yard. Uh, so I don't have anything against trees, like, I guess in moderation, but when I see them in a large open area, it does make me think of homelessness, resources, farming, and things like that. I
Okay.
don't know if that I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, no, no, no. You answered it.
Okay.
Grass. To see the grass. What does that mean to you? Like you talk about this vivid, pretty green.
So growing up, if you will, another thing I remember about my mom is the yard. And still to this day, she is very, very particular about her yard and having it trimmed and groomed and cut. And so much so that recently I asked my husband to purchase a trimmer for the grass because I feel like it's not trimmed properly at my house now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it sticks out for me because I she just made a deal out of a beautiful lawn, right? And so I think even now in my conscious waking, I notice people's grass and lawn. So I think that's why, because even as a child, we get up on Saturdays and be out there working in the yard because it had to look a particular way. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I know, how a yard is supposed to look, when I see yards out of order, it always triggers me.
Okay. So the yard in the dream, it wasn't trimmed,
Wasn't cut.
it wasn't cut. So how did you feel about that in the dream? Were you mesmerized by it? Were
I think I just felt indifferent. If I could give it a word, I just felt indifferent that it was who would let it get this bad is my thought. Like, when are you gonna cut your grass and trim this up? Why does I think that's what I was thinking. So probably just indifference towards the fact that it wasn't done.
mm-hmm. So it didn't bother you, but it's like, you look at it, but
I looked at it and I definitely noticed it, and I definitely thought that it shouldn't be that way.
okay.
But I wasn't angry about it or it didn't make me sad. I just noticed it, and it was more of a side eye type of feeling. Like, you could cut the grass kind of thing. But I do remember it being very pretty and green and being like a mix of regular grass and crabgrass.
Okay.
The grass is more vivid than anything in the dream, even the tree. Even though I can see the tree, I don't, it does not stand out like the grass in the fence,
Okay.
especially.
That's important. The last thing,
I'm looking down when I'm walking.
you're looking down.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm looking at the concrete. I'm looking at sidewalks to make sure I don't step on the cracks, and I'm looking at the grass. So I'm looking down when I walk.
And
But
don't step on the crack.
yeah, I don't want to step on the cracks, and I just hear the shots. I don't even look back. I just start running.
All right. So when you're shot,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, okay, I've been shot,
Yes,
but it didn't, it didn't hurt me.
it didn't hurt, right? And I was looking at myself now as an animal to see where I've been shot at, but I'm not shot. And more shots are going off, and I feel some impacts, but nothing is happening.
So almost like you brush it off, like, or you're just like,
Like, it brushed off of me, not like I didn't brush it off. I really thought I was dying. I thought I was going to be killed. And then when I realized it wasn't, I was kind of confused. I went from feeling like, okay, someone's trying to kill me and scared to confused because I realized almost instantly that I'm being hit, but nothing is happening. But it's not me like brushing them off like, not like that. I am literally in fear until I figure out I'm not bleeding or anything.
And once you find out you're not bleeding, you're not dying, how do you?
How do I feel?
Yes.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
I didn't feel happy or sad. I was confused. I was just wondering why. I was like, what is happening and why? But not relieved, not scared, just confused, but not anything else other than feeling confused and wondering why. And then I just wake up.
Okay. Do you remember the last time you had this dream? Like a couple of months ago? What?
Maybe 3 years. It's been about 3 years.
3 years
I've
ago.
been having it my whole life. It never goes away. It'll take a hiatus, but it will come back.
Okay. 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago.
Okay. Was anything significant going on in your life, in your waking life 3 years ago?
COVID ending. Um, I think that was the big thing because COVID has made me, I'm not, well, I don't think, I'm pretty sure I'm not agoraphobic, but I do not want to go outside unless I have to. Um, so I think that would have been time where I was in conflict about remaining a virtual instructor and coach and getting back out in the world, renting a space, having a building, having people come into me. I have social anxiety. I don't really like a lot of people coming up to me and talking to me. I can talk on a stage in front of 50 million people. But when I finish talking, I want to immediately run out the back door, get in my car, and go home. I don't want people walking up to me and talking to me and one-on-one, I melt down. So I prefer this, but I felt the pressure to try to get back out because everybody else was like getting back out there. They were going to networking events again. I don't want to go to no networking event. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I was struggling with was just coming off of, COVID and trying to reacclimate when everybody else was already starting to travel and take airplanes and stuff. I still haven't been on an airplane. So I'm like, I became way more of an introvert than I probably was before that. Right? So I just designed my life and my business this way.
Okay. And in designing your business that way, did you find yourself like in a struggle? Like, okay, people are saying I should do this, but I really want to make this work.
I don't I don't think anyone said that to me as much as people have expressed that, okay, well, I'd rather do this kind of thing in person. But they didn't say to me, you should have met me in person, or I want to take this class I don't want to take this class. I've had people say, like, I want to take a class, but I want to take it in person, not virtual.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. But nobody has really said to me, you need to get a location.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on my own thought process, because before going virtual, I did have a physical location. And so in my mind, as what I do, I thought to be truly successful, you should be outside in the
Oh,
space,
okay. Mm-hmm.
right? And you couldn't be successful this way. But I am successful this way.
Right.
But at the time, I was thinking, you'll never make this work. You got to go get a building. But
Mm-hmm.
I did not want that. I didn't want a space, an office. I didn't want to be responsible for office space. And I didn't want to be, I wanted to design the business to be able to travel the world, go different places, people not know where I am, but do what I love doing. Coaching,
Mm-hmm.
training, developing course content, writing books. So I just said, I'm not gonna give into my own head pressure. I'm gonna make this work. So
Okay. And you made that decision about 3 years ago?
I actually started thinking about it before that.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2020, when people started going virtual because of COVID, I had already set up a virtual program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why though, at the time, because I don't know that at the time I felt like I know why. I wanted to expand my territory and reach more people. And I wanted to reach people. I was teaching the salesperson pre-license class for people who want to get their real estate license. And I wanted to reach people who were not in Georgia, but who were going to relocate here and maybe wanted to get their license before they got here. So I started doing virtual with that mission in
Mm-hmm.
mind, to build my platform and to reach more people. And over time, as I hoped that it would, it grew and grew into other things to the point now I'm online all day, which I like. I love that. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I wanted. But I didn't realize I wanted it until COVID hit and I was forced to do it full time. Prior to that, I was just doing it every once in a while. I had a few students from New York and, Connecticut who were relocating here to the class. And I would have one class every now and then. It wasn't a lot. Not like now, my entire business is online.
Okay. So,
Right.
like,
So COVID made me very comfortable online. And
mm-hmm.
then so when everybody said, oh, it's time to go back outside, I was like, is it? What?
Hmm. I think the dream like 3 years ago, it's like an indication. And just let me know,
Okay.
like walking by the empty lots, seeing that vivid grass, it's like you see the grass is greener on the other side. But you have this fence, you still had some doubts, but some of the green, that vivid green is coming through the fence. So you had the ideal, it's there, but the fence is like a barrier. But like you said, the barrier is in your mind. It wasn't COVID, you had it in your mind, you started it, but it's like, okay, I'm going. Then you start hearing, you might hear people not saying per se to you, but hey, it's time to get back out there. It's time to do this. And I see that as those shots at you, like, boom, wait a minute. I'm on this path right here. It's a nice walk, but I'm feeling these bullets coming at me. So
Wow.
here you go. You jump into this mode. Oh, let me tell you about your dreams. In your dream, it's like you're pretty much everything in the dream. Okay?
I'm
You're
what?
you're everything in the dream.
Okay, I am. Okay.
So when you describe the monkey, you said adorable, cute, mean, got that little mean streak, not, toughness,
Right.
no nonsense, not aggressive, but it's like, hey, be cautious. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. I can get at you. Don't. And so it's
Wow.
like you turn into that mode and you made it work for you. You looked at it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I had these shots. People, maybe they believed it couldn't work, but it's working for me and I'm not hurt.
Wow. Wow.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it makes sense, especially the green grass, because as you were talking, I'm looking, I'm not a person that visualizes much. And me and my daughter talk about that quite a bit, that she's able to visualize things that I cannot. I'm not sure why, if I say to her, visualize a red apple, and she can, I cannot. But I can vividly see this green grass. And as you were talking, I kept thinking about how it was coming through the fence, like it was almost reaching for me.
Right. And the only thing blocking you, you are
From it is the fence.
you are the fence, and you are, we all have that fence in our lives. And the
It
abundance of
makes sense that
grass.
you said I'm everybody in the dream.
Yes.
It makes sense.
So it was, and it
I'm
makes
everything
sense,
and everybody.
right? 3 years ago was the last time you had it, and that's where you had this internal struggle. It wasn't really a struggle. This is what you wanted, but it was something like had you doubting. And that's where those shots were, those sort of doubts just hitting you. But then you went past it. You went past the fence and you got into that mode. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna get that little aggression in me. And
Mhm.
hey, wait a minute. I survived. I
Yes.
am a survivor.
Wow. Wow. It makes all the sense in the world. Now that you explained it, when you're having the dream and you wake up, uh, you take it at face value
Mm-hmm.
that, somebody's trying to kill me. What does that mean? And because we don't know, I don't understand, but now it makes total sense. So I'm so glad I did this.
I
Ooh,
even when people
now
say,
I want to go back and try to remember the times that I had the dreams. I need to get my journal.
I was getting ready to say that. That's the importance of writing down your dreams. Because when you see a pattern, like, wait a minute, I had this theme or, something similar. What was
Right.
going on in my life then? And once you figure it out, I
Yes.
find that you'll no longer have the dream once you work the dream. Once you realize this is what's going on, this is
Okay.
my internal conflict.
Mm,
So, what do I do? The biggest thing, once we understand the meaning of our dreams, what action do we take? What
okay.
action do? Now, this dream happened 3 years ago, but we know the action you took. You
Yes.
took the action of, I'm forging on, I'm doing my online business, I'm doing it. You
Yes.
did it.
Yes.
And look, 3 years ago, you haven't had that dream since then. That's
I have
the importance of taking action when we start understanding our dreams. You got to take action.
I didn't know that that's what it meant. Like when I jumped in, it was like fighting off the bullets. It was me taking action. I do just see in real life. I said, I know in my mind, in my conscious mind, I said, no, I'm not going to buckle to the pressure that I feel by the shots, but I wasn't connecting no shots. I was just thinking, I'm not going to give into the pressure of getting a space, paying rent, and then making myself terribly uncomfortable with anxiety doing something I don't love doing.
Right, exactly.
Wow, Dr. Terri, this has been amazing.
This
Wow.
I appreciate you.
I feel so much better.
You thought it was going to be something scary, huh?
I didn't know.
And the thing about it, sometimes scary dreams, they have powerful messages, and it
Yes.
doesn't have to be scary
Right.
once you understand the meaning. And I appreciate you trusting me to share your dream with me.
Well, thank you so much. I just thank you for taking the time to listen and help me understand and bring me some relief, because it does bring me relief that it's not something traumatic. You know, I'm always thinking it's trauma or something, someone's going to die. So this has brought me a lot of relief. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm gonna give you a copy of these notes that I wrote just for you.
Yes.
You can add to it. You might see something and it was like, oh, wait a minute, Terri didn't say
Well,
this,
I
and it would
appreciate
be something else.
it. It will definitely go into my journal.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Well,
you, Dr.
thank